All right, let's do the energy stuff real quick.
I know nothing about this. So.
Okay, all the wheels are falling off. The last 2 years I've been covering the death of net zero. It's a slow motion train wreck, but it is very much a train wreck. All the big projects are being abandoned. All the existing projects are being scaled back. All the feed-in tariffs for solar are being scaled back. The only new thing really is this battery program that the government has rolled out where they're throwing money at batteries, and that is essentially trying to wallpaper over the huge problem they've created by having so much rooftop solar. Mm-hmm. They're trying to fix that problem now by throwing more money at it. And to be honest, as much as I hate to say this, it is kind of the right solution. They just shouldn't be spending taxpayers' money on it. But anyway, all the big grid scale projects that are offshore, so mostly your wind farms, they're all being walked away from. They're all being abandoned. All of the what's it called? The hydrogen plants, all the green energy, green hydrogen plants have all shut down now. There was one in South Australia that was attached to a steel mill there, which kind of made sense for certain reasons. That one shut down 2 months ago, I'm going to say. The last one shut down just the other day. And now Chris Bowen has announced another $400 million is going to get thrown at yet another experiment at that, which was a surprise. I actually, I thought he'd learned that lesson, but unfortunately he hasn't. But the writing is on the wall. Everywhere you look, all this green net zero stuff, there's no more geothermal. That was going to save us. Mm-hmm. There's no more tidal. That was going to save us. Wind power, gone. The marine environment is just too harsh.
Yep.
It destroys things too fast. Geothermal, sending those pipes down into the water, deep into the earth and picking up the energy from there, blah, blah, blah.
That only makes sense in places like Iceland, where it's so close to the surface.
Well, it can make sense elsewhere. I believe there is a micro plant still operating in Australia that's powering a very, very remote town that happened to be in the right geographic location where they could do it. Mm-hmm. But any and every attempt so far to scale that up in a meaningful sense in Australia has failed, and they're all closed down now. The wheels are falling off, and as the government is having to wind back a lot of the subsidies and so forth, the spending is having to be rationalised because it's creating problems. They subsidised all the rooftop solar panels that are now destabilising the grid.
Yeah,
now they're subsidising the batteries to try and bring the stability back because that's their knee-jerk reaction: spend more money. A lot of these projects and a lot of this whole kind of project has fallen off. But there is one remaining subsidy that hides in plain sight because it's not a subsidy. And for as long as this one exists, unfortunately, we're going to continue to have to battle this thing. The way the Australian Energy Market Operator's bid stack system works is really, really perverse. Imagine a deck of cards, and that each card in that deck is a certain amount of energy. All right, you got 50 of them. There's 50,000 megawatt hours, or whatever it is over a period of time. Whatever, it doesn't matter what the unit is. Each card represents energy. Now, the demand is whatever it is. The demand is 50 cards worth. And so the energy market operator says, okay, who can supply me with power? And a coal operated plant over here and a solar plant over there and a wind plant over there and a gas plant over here will all bid and say, well, I'll give you this much power at this price. I'll give you that much power at that price, blah, blah, blah. And what the operator does is it takes the lowest 50 bids. So it meets the demand. It buys as much energy as it has to meet the demand. But what it does, and there's good reasons why they do this. This isn't this off the top. If you've never heard of this before, you're going to be like, what? That makes no sense. But it actually does. They pay all 50 at the price of the most expensive of the 50.
Yeah.
Okay? So they all get whatever the 50th lowest price was, that's the price they all get paid. And so obviously if you're pumping cheap power into the system, you're getting paid pretty well. Your margins are pretty good. But what happens is there are moments in time where if you could take out some of the supply, if you could take out the bottom 10 cards and force the market operator to buy the next 10 cards, that one of those cards is going to be super expensive. Yeah. And now everyone's going to get paid according to that super expensive value. Yeah. Now, what's happened with battery backup is that there is an incentive now for the large generators which own a portfolio. They've got a coal plant here, a gas plant there, a wind turbine, a wind farm, a solar farm, and some battery backup here and blah, blah, blah. They have an incentive to destabilize the system to the point that the market operator needs to buy some battery backup because that's the most expensive. Mm-hmm. And the minute they're buying any teeny tiny amount of battery backup to stabilize the system, everyone's hit the jackpot. Every single person putting power into the system is getting paid stupid amounts of money. Yeah. It's not a subsidy on paper. You could search all of the treasury numbers and you're not going to find a subsidy that's happening. Yeah. But this is a market manipulation that I'm convinced is going on. I think it's hiding in plain sight. I think it's right there in the numbers, but I'm working on being able to put together a watertight case to be able to cover this.
Yeah.
And for as long as that manipulation of the bid stack system continues to exist, then it will continue to be viable to run these incredibly expensive green energy projects.
Yeah.
We have to deal with that. Once we kill that, net zero will be dead in Australia within a year.
Do you think there's also coming a point where the messaging just cannot get in front of this stuff enough? Like, for example, we've joked about Australia's warmest, driest winter, and it's been very cold. And every week there's a new story on 9 or whatever.
Negative 7.1 degrees was the feels like temperature in southern Queensland yesterday morning.
Yeah, oh, poor buggers. They might have to put a jumper on for the first time. Queenslanders.
Well, negative 7. That's more than jumper territory.
Yeah.
And I put up a thing about that just this morning on Facebook saying, it's a good thing it's an unusually warm summer. Can you imagine how cold it would be if it had been a cold summer?
Yeah.
Cold winter, I mean. Yeah.
But is it getting to a point when it comes to all this net zero green energy where they've tried so hard with the messaging and they led with it for a while, which was able to sort of placate the masses.
Yeah.
But now people, like, there's only so much gaslighting you can get away with where people go, hang on a minute, this isn't making sense.
Everyone that's going to believe in it already believes in it.
Yeah.
There's only one way from here. They're not winning any new people.
No.
I think
they're turning people away now.
They are turning people away. Now, what we've seen politically recently for the first time is the Nationals really actually took a stand on this when it came to the coalition. And the coalition is still officially off. I don't think they've reunited yet. Now, that's not that unusual. But the reason why the Nationals are playing hardball is because even though David Littleproud survived a leadership spill and he's not he's unfortunately a supporter of all the net zero stuff, there is such a large faction within the Nationals now that doesn't support it, that he can't go and reunite with the Liberal Party while that's the official policy.
Yeah, okay.
So we're seeing for the first time that the abandoned net zero brigade are beginning to get political traction, not to the point that we're going to see a change in the heart of our Prime Minister as yet.
Yeah.
But it is a substantial change that's happening inside our third biggest political party, the Nationals. So my hope is that will expand and will continue, because it will give people something to vote for. If the Liberal Party actually got dragged by the Nationals to the point where they would actually stand up against this nonsense, it would energise their base. It would actually energise voters to have something to vote for a change.
Yeah, but I think, I know we're talking about it and people in our realm are talking about it, but how we were promised that if we did this and did this and did this, everything would get cheaper. Everything's only gotten more. And to the point where it's like, okay, you're telling me that this is going to bring energy prices down and that Albanese is going to help. Yeah. Then why am I just about to pay an $800 electricity bill?
It's like you read my Facebook and my social media or something, Carly. I post, it'll take me a minute to scroll because I post a lot of crap. Gosh, man, can this guy talk? It is, gosh, still not. I posted it like 3 days ago. Come on, I've got to be close now. There it is. Found it. It was 6 days ago. All right. We bought the Energy Saver light bulbs. We bought the energy efficient appliances. We got our smart meters. We've covered our hillsides in solar panels. We've covered our hilltops in wind turbines. We did all of the things that were going to make energy cheaper, but my bill is the highest it's ever been. Mm-hmm. Now, more and more people are waking up to that reality.
That's what I mean about the gaslighting. Yeah. And I'm seeing this, again, it's just things that I'm picking up out of my observation. I saw there's a guy in Queensland I follow, what's his name? Troy Candy. And he lives in Queensland, and he was talking about his $4,000 electricity bill. Now he lives in a mansion. So obviously, he would have a big bill, but he talks about how he had solar, and the solar was turned off. And his sentiment was, my bill's so high because the solar was off. And I was like, yeah, but also, like, $4,000 for electricity, mate, is not normal.
But also, there's a lot of people got angry at me. I did a video about how EVs are very, very expensive, and people got angry at me. And there were two categories of people that got angry at me.
Are you talking about the audience?
Fine. Fine, you got me.
You always attack me for it. Yeah, continue.
And they don't understand that rooftop solar is not free energy, it's prepaid energy.
Yeah.
Right? One of the big problems with how people think when it comes to economics is not understanding the difference between the full cost, the life cycle cost, and the marginal cost. And this is a really important distinction. If you want to build a bathroom right, add a bathroom onto your home, it's going to cost you a chunk of money. You've got
Yeah.
to build the bathroom, the roof, the foundations, put in the plumbing, put in all the decor, the tiles, the commode, blah, blah, blah. The cost of a bathroom is very high. But for one additional person to use that bathroom, the marginal cost of one additional use of an existing bathroom is essentially zero.
Yeah.
It's not quite zero, but it's very, very freaking close to zero. So the marginal cost is zero, but that doesn't make the bathroom free.
No.
It doesn't mean you can build one and it doesn't cost you anything. And this is what people don't understand. Lovers of renewable energy love to talk about the marginal cost. Oh, the marginal cost of rooftop solar is zero. Like if the cloud moves out of the way of the sun, it produces more energy. You didn't pay anything for that extra energy compared to if the sun was behind a cloud. And that's true. But that doesn't mean that the rooftop solar installed itself and manufactured itself and did all of that stuff for free.
And they have a short lifespan too.
They do. And so the levelized cost of energy, which is how economists try and actually figure out what's the real cost here when you factor in the entire life cycle. On charitable assumptions, the levelized cost of energy from domestic rooftop solar is somewhere around about 12 cents per kilowatt hour, which is actually still pretty good, right? That's not bad. I'm not saying it's a ridiculously expensive form of energy, but it ain't free.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that are trying to sit there and say, well, I get my energy for free. No, you do not. Even if you're renting, no, you do not. The value of that thing is being recouped through your rent.
We talked about that when Abby Chatfield famously said that I have solar, I don't pay anything.
Yeah,
must be nice.
Which, I mean, that's the other thing as well. Is I have the ability to prepay 10 years worth of electricity up front in the form of the capital cost of installing that. Right? Oh, well, good for you. That's not something that you should be particularly bragging about to people that are saying, I can't afford rent this month.
Yeah, exactly. You've just watched another short clip from the Oddcast. And if you'd like to see the full video, it is over at our dedicated channel. That is the Oddcast HQ on YouTube. We will see you there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and have a chat in the comments.